wearing a headset because I didn't want to get up, reset everything because I am feline oppressed right at the moment. And I got another one right over there. So I didn't want to disturb these two. It's not quite dinner time yet, so they're super chill. So I put up a loaded question. I said, what is a real man? This causes so much conflict and so much controversy. It is ridiculous. There are so many opinions, so many thoughts, so many different ways that people take this energy. And a lot of it just doesn't freaking need to happen, because there's a great quote that says that a rat once cornered will fight to the death. How much more so a man? When people get, and this is all people, I put that man, not men, but like all humanity. When people get cornered, when they get put into a tight spot, they will fight for their beliefs, even though their beliefs are just a way of thinking, right? You are not your beliefs. You are not the way you were raised. You're not your culture. You're not your religion. You're something greater and bigger than. And yet so many times we get wrapped up in our thought processes, the way we feel about things. We get so attached that we're like willing to fight versus, well, let me try to understand what you're saying and what you mean, instead of just like flying off the handle and like Don Quixote tilting after windmills. So I want to share with you something I threw on. It said, I put a quote on today, a little post. It said, I feel like a real man when blank. And I had two guys that kind of like, kind of went after it and was like, well, I didn't realize I needed to justify myself or rationalize myself to be a real man. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly the point. You don't. Right? To what it means to be a real man, there's a lot of different perspectives. There's a lot of different flavors, right? Do real men, do they wear makeup? Because they did. 17th century France, they did wear makeup. Our founding fathers wore makeup. So was that a real man? And they went and they fought like the Battle of Valley Forge, and they fought in the winter and all those sorts of things. What it means to be a real man, you got to understand there's a layer below that. There's masculine polarity and feminine polarity. And then how do those play out inside an individual person? And are you more masculine in your core, or are you more feminine in your core? That's the real conversation. Because what it takes to make a quote unquote real man has changed throughout society. It changes through cultural lenses. It changes through religious lenses. It changes so much. But what was really cool in this conversation today, I had like 9, 10 guys that all opined a point. And I actually had a lady, Connie, she was like, I'm not a man. Let me see, what is it? She said, oh my, not being a man, but enjoyed reading the responses. And I was like, yeah, because we got a lot of men showing up as real men here, right? They're stating opinions. They're stating their perspective. They're like, to me, I'm a real man when blank. And they owned it, whatever it was. Like, when I carry meat on my back to feed my family. Okay, cool. When I create positive memories and I'm present and I love and they feel safe. That's cool too. Like, I could agree with both of those. I'm a human man, so I think that's all I need. Yeah, that's true, right? None of those ghost men apply, I said. One guy said peace sitting down. I was like, okay, that's a first. I hadn't heard that, but that's what makes you feel like a man. Go for it. Like, I'm not here to judge, and maybe he's being a smart ass. Right? But the point is, like, I had all these different guys that had an opinion. And Mark, you didn't put an opinion, so you can go put an opinion. But I had these guys that are like, this is what it means to me to be a real man. I'm like, cool. I appreciate that. Because really, to be a quote-unquote real man, for me, and the experience I've had over 40 years of personal development and 26 years helping people professionally, 27 this year, right, is part of being a real man is having integrity. And having, when you speak, you own whatever it is you're saying. And you own that moment. You own your truth, right? And I actually went through last night, I did a special class. When I walked through and I said, these are the characteristics I've seen time and time and time again that men go through. And these are the things that matter for men, and to live in our masculine, and to be our strongest selves. And so, I also covered some really cool concepts in there that I really think you guys should go check out. If you're curious, it's about how to have more clarity and how to know how to go from frustration and resentment to being happy quickly. I talked about how to break up with your limiting beliefs and break through to your new level self. I talked about how to know the mindset mistakes that keep you unhappy and how to shift back into peak energy anytime you feel yourself wobbling. And finally, the special ingredient to becoming confident and getting it all that nobody talks about. So I really went through, it's a free training. It's about an hour long, I think 50 something minutes. And it's really powerful. I went through some of my personal story and personal journey. I shared some of the successes of my clients and the challenges they've had with their wives, and some of the conversations, and how to pivot in the moment versus getting stuck in the patterns of the past and the same arguments and same conflict and same pain. I'd love for you guys to go check that out. Love to get your feedback, because this whole conversation about what it means to be a real man in today's age, it is so powerful. Because, yeah, I put a stat out recently. Divorced men kill themselves 3 times more often than divorced women, and it's about 10 guys a day that are ending their lives for a belief system, for the way that they think and the way that they feel about a situation, and whether they have power or they don't have power, whether they can influence, they can control. They literally are choosing, I can't be here anymore. It would just be easier on me, on other people, to take myself out. And that stat, like, it's sobering. It's not something to make a joke about. It's not something to screw around about. I have tools and knowledge that can help literally save lives. How to shift our belief systems, shift our BS quickly so that we feel stronger, more stable, we feel more focused. When our wife is having a meltdown, we know how to step in and bring peace to that moment, get her out of her head and into her heart. We know when our kids are challenged, when they're having a bad moment with something at school and they're getting pressured, you know the things to say to help them understand the moment and how to live beyond that moment, so that this doesn't become a touch point for the rest of their life. They're now limited because of this experience in high school or middle school, or, God forbid, even elementary school. But I've worked with clients in their 50s and 60s and 70s. They've had challenges multiple decades. And it was because they understood things a certain way as a child and never got past it, never knew how to let it go. It became a defense mechanism. It became part of their identity. And well, that's just the way I am. That's just who I am. And it's like, really? Really? You were just born to be limited and to have these negative things and do these manipulative behaviors? Because if you were born that way, it wouldn't bother you. So the fact that it does, there's a part of you that disagrees with what's happening. So let's go fix that. So this is the conversation I talked to, and some of the content that I went into, how to get clear on this, how to really show up solid, powerful, how to impact the moment time and time and time again, not as a one-off, I got lucky, as a system, as a process. You have a mental checklist like a waterfall. You just roll through. Am I showing up? Am I this? Am I this? Am I this? You walk yourself through the steps. You can get yourself back into power, back into polarity. You feel strong and you respect yourself. So I'd love for you to go check it out. So you guys make it a fantastic evening, and I will see you when I see you. Bye.